Oh,
Welcome, everybody. I've got Randolph Carroll with us from Rooster. Thanks for joining us, Randy.
yeah, I appreciate you throwing in my last name there because when you go straight from Randy Rooster, the alliteration is really painful.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But today we're talking about Rooster, and it's really going from dormant to dominant because the idea of what they built is really about livening up your database, bringing it back from the dead, which they did with mine. And so we have 130,000 in our two main databases, and altogether we've got 150,000 people in our database. So this to me hit right where it matters, and that's it got people to raise their hand to then come to us and say, we want to sell, we want to buy. Randy, where do we start with this? Because I know you've got some great analytics too.
Yeah, no, I'm going to pop over my screen share in a second here, but I would definitely like to just frame the conversation um, regarding how we started and how we got to this moment talking about engaging your entire database, right? Because many of you, hey Loretta, hey John, hey Matt, good to see y'all. Um, Many of y'all know Rooster as, hey, you're that app company, right? And I certainly don't want to diminish uh, the value there because I obviously see a tremendous amount of value in it. And I'll show you that I've got bonus content at the end to go through that demonstrate just how valuable that is. But the problem that we saw was we engaged people who are in the app incredibly well. And I'll show you that. The a level of activity is through the roof. We're really pleased with it. But what we saw was there's a huge amount of our clients' databases that are going completely untapped. And all of our clients are in a similar position to you, Tristan. They have a CRM, they have a website, they have a listing alert tool, right? They have all these boxes that they believe have been checked in order to keep the entire database engaged. But what we found out by digging underneath the actual, thank you. I'm in a hotel lobby, by the way. That's why I've got such a funny background.
Well,
But
hold
what we
on. On your
found out, like,
background, on your background, time out, time out. I want people to participate here, whether you're watching on Facebook or not. What the hell's behind Randy's head without you unblurring it? I want people to guess what's behind your head as you're talking. Tell me what it is, and maybe you get a rooster hat for the winner. Okay, maybe.
yeah, maybe
Uh,
you get some swag. Let's
yeah.
go.
So tell us what you think. We'll give it a few minutes, but Randy, continue here on what you discovered.
Yeah. So sorry. Yeah, what we discovered was there's this tremendous amount of people in your database who you thought were being nurtured long term by your existing platforms, been totally left behind because of their actual the thing that we want to solve, the very lack of engagement. And every platform in the industry does this. They sunset. That's kind of the terminology used. They sunset your database, and for good reason, quite frankly. If I were to continue to market to people who are unengaged and not responding, then that can negatively impact everyone else in your database who is reaching out to you. But each of these platforms do a really poor job of communicating to you that, hey, you've got people who have been left behind. And so what we've done is gone into folks like yours database with tens of thousands of people, and we've re-engaged them through what we've launched, and we've found a tremendous amount of activity. We've been really, really pleasantly surprised because these are cold leads. These are leads that are left for dead, or let's say someone who I spoke to, a client of ours in Tucson, said they were not new leads for the agent. I mean, they were not new leads for the company. They were seven-year old lead, but it was a new lead to the agent. So they,
Yeah.
the our client didn't have to buy any more leads. We just resurrected some of these leads from the dead, and that's a tremendously profitable way to run your business when you already have invested tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars into generating leads from your database rather than just pouring more leads into it, making the most of what you have. And so I'm going to pop open my screen share here to just dive right into the dirty details of the engagement that we've been able to drive.
Okay.
So this right here is Google. I mean, this is straight from Google, right? So this information is about as trustworthy as it gets. Um, so let me help you understand exactly what we're looking at here. It's obviously a chart up and to the right. Everyone loves those. But let's talk about where we started. This client launched with us. This is a small client, not a huge, massive brokerage, a larger team per se, but not hundreds of agents, maybe tens of agents, right?
Hmm.
And they started with us in March. We
Okay.
did their training around the middle. We did their training on our platform around the middle of March. So you can see we've got that big spike of engagement of agents excited to have their app and wanting to share it out with their database, getting their clients in there, helping them share properties and sold properties, access their network of vendors, all the amazing things that you've grown to know and love about Ruuster.
Hmm.
And then we have been rolling out clients kind of one by one into this database engagement tool. Um, and you can see we got them enrolled in about the middle of April.
Okay.
And
I
so
like
what that
that.
means is we took a database of, I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 10,000. So not an unattainable number for anyone on this call or anyone
No.
watching here. And we took, and these are 10,000 leads that have been left for dead. So these are not your new hot leads. These are not your Zillow Flex leads. These are not your PPC just registered on your website 5 minutes ago and you're calling them leads. These are leads that have been in the database for minimum 365 days. People aren't calling these people. These are not on any type of follow-up list. This is the coldest part of your database. We got them uploaded and they saw immediate spike in activity. Around 10,000 people. We've got in this first column, you can see a total of 16,000 views. And so what a view is in our platform is anytime somebody clicks on a property page, if they download the app and they view pages inside the app that come from the blog or the vendors, um, that's an example of a view. If you actually, you know, share a property with, if I shared a property with my wife, um, that would be a view for her as well. And so we've got 16,000 views over 1,600 people.
Yeah.
So yeah, you give us a list of 10,000 leads and only 16% of them interact with you. Well, what is your return on infinity? Because these leads didn't cost you anything. These are leads that are existing in your database already that everyone had forgotten about.
Well, I actually like the a minute and 40-second average engagement time because if they're taking a look at it, that's probably a couple of properties at least. And
Mm-hmm.
the ability for then me to pick up the phone and text them or message them inside of the app or call them or a combination of everything, just to see what they thought of the experience. I'll tell you exactly what I did that worked, Randy, because I also called up and be like, "Hey, I noticed you were on our," and then that didn't work. So I'll tell you what worked. It's like you, Randy. You checked it out. You were on there a minute. I'm like, "Hey, Randy, it's Tristan. Listen, you were just on our app, and I'm just calling to see what you thought about it. It's new, and I wanted to understand your experience so we can make it better." And I just shut up.
I love that.
And then they're like, "Oh, well, you know what? It's yeah, this." And then I shifted it over to what I wanted to talk about. But that was the best way after calling because you guys brought in like hundreds of people that raised their hand. So I was on the phone for I remember 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we came up with. We're like, that one works for us.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's very passive. It's what we found to be really interesting too is there is a huge gap in cold emailing somebody and then expecting them to go set an appointment and get coffee with you or view homes. There's a ton of things that could happen in between there, and it's really aggressive to send a cold email to someone, call them, and then expect them to meet with you next week. what our platform offers is a way to bridge that really wide gap. Let's say I'm sending you cold lead once again, sending these emails, and then this person may not be ready to go meet with me for some coffee, but maybe they do want to download my app and start browsing a little bit more. Maybe they do want to start asking questions about properties. How much easier? I mean, I am a millennial. I like technology, and as I get older, I'm increasingly less interested in dealing with customer service people. So when I go onto a website and I have issues, and they have a little chat box, I love to throw my question into the chat box and then continue on with my life. That's an interesting parallel to what we're offering. People download the app, they are viewing properties, they have questions, but they're not ready to pick up the phone and call a real estate agent to get their questions answered. But they're inside the app is a quick little chat box where they can ask you whatever questions they might have about that property. And you're going to find that people are going to be more and more open to engaging with you that way, rather than answering a cold call and going and meeting with you in person. So it's baby steps. Open up the email, download the app, chat with the agent, then set the appointment. You can see how you're building this trust. You're pouring into them, right? You're investing into them. You're answering their questions. You're making yourself available to them. And then when it comes time for them to return the favor, you've earned the right to ask for that appointment. You've brought them enough value. You've earned the right. I can ask you to meet with me to discuss real estate because I have brought value to you throughout your journey.
That makes sense to me, man. And I think that's the way we should approach most inquiries, right? And that's the challenge. I'll tell you something that reminded me of what you're saying yesterday. In Lab Code Agents, we had somebody post, hey, I've tried Realtor.com and Zillow and Boomtown. They said all three. And they said, but none of it works. Where else should I go? My first response was like, hey, I don't know that it's the companies that's the problem. I think it might be your skill set, right? And when something isn't working that other people seem to be saying works really well and they have proof, right? Because they have the closings, like, then it might be your skill set. And so this is why we're always looking and saying, first of all, if we know that people are spending on the previous screen 1 minute and 40 seconds or something like that per visit, and I had over 1,000 people come in and raise their hand, at least say, hey, they shared something, they wanted to talk, they set appointments. All of that's then going to depend on my conversation skills. What am I going to say? How am I going to say it? At what stage are they in? So there's different levels to this, man. The point is this works to bring people back. What you do with it, I think that's a separate question.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is a really simple equation. You want X number of closings. I know that's not necessarily the topic of today, but it's simple algebra for you. It's your skill set times your opportunities. The better your skill set is, the fewer opportunities you need to get more closings. If your skill set is not very good, you're going to need a lot of opportunities. So that's just sales mathematics 101. This is another client of ours, and I love this chart because the amount of leads that we implemented for them was even fewer than the first person. So I think the first person I said was 10,000. I think it was more than that. I think it was like in the 12,000 range. So I think I got them confused. This client had less than 10,000 leads that we implemented into our database engagement platform at the beginning of the year. As you can tell, they launched with us right at the start of the season, of the year. Sorry, and their engagement has been through the roof. So keep in mind, it's less than 10,000 people, maximum 9,999. Less than 10,000 people, and the number of total users has been over 7,500. So we have been highly engaged with the database that they sent to us. These 7,600 users have had over 90,000 views. So since the start of the year, this client has gotten over 90,000 views on our platform. Now that's app and desktop, for clarity, app and desktop, for a total of almost 12 views per user. So the engagement has been through the roof. And another category that we didn't discuss with the previous analytics was the all event count. So what is the difference? What is the difference between the event count and the views?
Yeah.
The event count is that's when the client actually does something, right? When they click on a button, they request a tour, they ask for information from your vendor, they favorite a property, they share a property. All of these don't necessarily take you to a new page, right? I know this is kind of nerdy Google talk, but that's why we're all here. It doesn't necessarily take you to a new page, but there's an event that occurs on that page. If I am on the property page itself and I click on favorite, that doesn't bring me to a new page, which would drive up the page views here. What it does is trigger an event. So you had 7,600 users trigger 143,000 events.
It's a lot, man. I was actually looking at the views per user, 11.79. That's kind of cool. Didn't expect that to be as high.
Oh yeah, this is very high. And again, this is a mix of your email-based desktop plus app users. So I want to make that clear because I've got some bonus content that I want to show that's only an app user of ours. This is a client who has not used our database engagement platform, and his numbers are through the roof. And I'm excited to show you that. But yeah, so I want to make sure I stop and answer any questions here. Let me check the chat here. Let's see if anybody got the guess correctly.
Yeah. Let's take a look. Okay. First of all,
Jim, it is not a chandelier.
Loretta says she loves Ruuster, so there you go.
Well, we love Loretta, so it's mutual.
Is there a replay for this? Yeah, Jim, it'll be in the Ruuster YouTube channel. Chandelier. All right, any other guesses? Let me stop sharing really quick your screen, Randy. Any other guesses on what the hell's behind Randy's head? What is it? I thought it was a big lemon. I was like, is that a slice of lemon as art, Randy? I was wrong. I was wrong. Okay.
It's not a giant lemon. That's true. And if you're friends with me on Facebook, then you should know where I am. So bonus points if you guess where I am.
Loretta's the clock. That's a great guess. That does look like a clock. All right, Randy, what are you saying as the people have been jumping into Ruuster over the last few months? What's the number one thing that they're saying as the reason they love it the most?
It definitely depends on who you are. Our sub clients are over the moon with it because of how native the integration looks. But as it pertains to this topic today about the database engagement, they've been really shocked because, again, these are all clients of ours who have a website. They have a listing alert program. These aren't people who just bought a bunch of leads and shoved them into a CRM or bought a list of leads, right? These are people who have websites, and they're all websites that you know and love, and that we know and love. So when we rolled out this product, 100% of our clients said, but I already have a website. I already had a database engagement tool, right? If you're Tristan, you have 19.
Don't pick on. That's true.
I mean, truly. So when we rolled this out, people were shocked, but a little confused at first. But then we actually, and we have some of our clients have given us access to their databases to do research and all these things. Because our original research we were doing was on appointments set to close. That number is horrendous, but that's a topic for another day. We did some additional research showing, just looking at the people in your database who are opening up your emails, coming back to your website. And some of the top agents in the country, the type of agents who get up on stages and speak, the type of agents who start coaching companies, the type of agents who make all of the top lists for the most amount of production. All of these people were woefully underserved when it came to database engagement. So when we actually sat down with a client and showed them less than 1% of your database is engaging with you on a regular basis, they were um, really blown away. So people have been really surprised. Really, they've loved the fact that we have kicked up the hornet's nest, that we've gotten your past database involved, and it's been an incredible opportunity to not have to buy new leads and just to make the most of the leads that you have in your database.
I love that, man. Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing for me. The biggest thing for me is how can I nurture the massive database we have so I don't have to keep on buying new leads? Not that I'm not buying them, but still, I want to make sure that I can bring these old leads that no one's touching back to life. And this has done a magnificent job. So thank you.
And let me real quick. I know we've got a little bit of time. We'll cut it short though, so that people can get on with their lives. But I just want to pop up in my screen share for a little bit of bonus content, because what I don't want people to walk away from this um, webinar with is the app wasn't good enough. It wasn't engaging enough. Because if that's the message that you're hearing, let me just go ahead and stop you right now, because these statistics, or this data right here, this is real-time data from a real-time client. This will show you how incredibly engaging the app is. So this client has not rolled out our database engagement platform. This is someone who has just used us for our mobile client portal. And if you liked 11 views per user, Tristan, then you should be blown away here. This client averages 56 views per user, and the average time spent on the app for this client is over 9 minutes.
Wait, what area are they in?
They're in the Southeast. They're in North and South Carolina.
Okay, got it. Well, that's actually a state where people are coming in quite a bit. So that's interesting. I'd like to know uh users 1,200 users. That's 1,000, right? 1,228.
Yeah, yeah, that's 1,000.
Okay, dude, that's crazy for that amount. That's nuts.
That is bananas. 1,228 users on average spent 9 minutes and 21 seconds. Just like, do yourself a favor and sit down and open up the clock app on your phone and start a timer for 9 minutes, and ask yourself the last time you spent 9 minutes doing any one thing.
Um,
Um,
I sat through this webinar.
so you sat through this webinar. What do you
Come
mean
on.
you sat through this? This was very
It's
engaging.
over 9 minutes. This is over 9 minutes. Good quality stuff.
It is. Um, so let's see. We got a few questions pop through. Is there a way to add them to the app? Yeah, definitely. So, depending on your CRM, you can add them directly into the app through your CRM by adding a tag. If you're out and about, or you want to add someone individually, you can just open up the app itself and click invite client, add name, email, phone number. That will shoot out a message to the client to download the app. If you in every one of our emails, every single one of our emails, there's a prompt to download the app there, so you can drive more downloads that way. You've got your own landing page you can use on social media. We've got a client of ours in Prescott who actually puts a QR code on each of her listing signs or for sale signs, and people drive by and they can scan the QR code and get invited that way. You have FUB. You want to do a batch ad. So this is area where we have to be really careful. If you invite a database of several thousand people all at once, you're going to break the system. So you don't want to add people in mass. If you do want to do that, send us a message and we can do it in a way that won't break the system. If you want to add an invite tag and FUB, just do it, 10 people at a time. So just shoot us an email, helpme@rooster.com. That's helpme@rooster.com. Rooster spelled with 2 U's. I will put it in the chat as well.
And then Ryan, I know, Ryan, what's up, Ryan? Ryan, for you, who you deal with a lot of a lot of referrals and a lot of online leads coming through from different sources. This would be great to then bring them into this whole new world to then create a different opportunity for you so they don't go to like a Redfin or a Zillow or somewhere else because this program, this app they've done such a great job in making it really smooth. Um, dude, do you have a demo app that people can use, or they just go onto mine? I guess, right? They can go onto mine.
Yeah, Tristan Associates. You can download Tristan's app and bother him. Now,
Yeah, go to
if you
Tristan
want to download,
Associates, download the app,
if you
and
want
then just search in California because outside of California, I don't have MLS IDX. So test
to,
it out. I won't call you, but I'm sure somebody on my team will. So just know that's gonna happen.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Ryan, I want to answer your question real quick. This is based on how good the information they have in their app, what is engaging the people. I'm not necessarily sure on what the first question is. Is this based on how good the information they have in their app? Oh, you're saying like the quality of the information? Yeah. So there's a number of different ways people are using the platform and engaging. Obviously, searching for properties is a highly engaging feature. People love looking at kitchens and walk-in closets, etc. But there's other things in here to take advantage of as well, such as the um, vendor section, for example, adding in, if you're a homeowner and a tree falls on your roof and you need a new roof, rather than going to Google, I can pop up and Tristan and Associates app and hire the roofer that Tristan recommends. But they don't have storms in Southern California, so I guess that's not a good example. Um, let's see. Another, and also like blog posting and things of that nature. Plus, there's also a custom push notification. So every time you have an open house or a new listing, or if vendor is offering some type of discount, or you just want to say hello to everybody, you can use the custom push notification feature to fire out a
Yeah.
message to everyone, and that's a highly engaging feature. John's got two questions. One is the dynamic search officially getting launched, and what do we need to do? Well, you don't need to do anything
Great
right
question.
now. What?
That's a great question. I was thinking the same
That's
thing.
that's a very good question. So right now, the timeline is going to be either end of October or first week of November. So that is the timeline. For those who are wondering, what is the dynamic search? This is actually we're going to be the only company in the entire industry that offers this, and it's something I'm super pumped about. And this is really for FUB users. So when you have all of these different lead sources and all these different activity sources funneling into FUB, your website, etc., we're going to be able to read all of that activity data and create an automated save search for them based off of that. Said differently, we can use all of your lead sources, not just their activity on Ruuster, in order to set up save searches. So that's something there's going to be more detail coming out about that. We're not talking about it a bunch in public, but it is something that we're really pumped about. Reporting, quite frankly, that's kind of on a ad hoc, as needed basis. Shoot us a message, and we can fire off some reporting to you. We do not have a good reporting mechanism inside our platform. That's just a weakness that we're aware of, and we want to improve on that. But we can send you a message individually with your activity data, like how many clients per agent, how many invites have been sent out per agent, how many downloads in total, all of the activity you see on the screen. So we can get that to you.
I love that.
But Rega said the chat feature is spectacular. I agree.
Yeah. I love that. All right, dude, anything else you want to add? I love talking analytics. We should do this more often.
Oh, I love doing this. This is a conversation that people need to do. They just often choose not to. But the last thing that I have to share is the wagon wheel.
It's a wagon wheel. Hold on. Let me stop sharing really quick. All right, show us the wagon wheel. It's a wagon wheel. Nobody got it.
So what? And Loretto's right. I am in Tahoe. So I promise not to make you sit through um, webinars from a hotel again.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Have an awesome day. Thanks, Randy.